Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing all right. Connor here, and we are back with another post-match reaction. Before you come in, guys, all that good stuff. Make sure you're liking the video, sharing it to your friends, and all that good stuff. Get your comments in the section below. Listen, we might have aligning thoughts. It was a bit of a tough one for me today. I'll be really honest with you. Leeds conceded, and my head firmly smacked on the table in disappointment and heartbreak. It really did. Felt Leeds were in the game. I thought with a better team by a country mile. We created more chances. We're going to get onto the style in just a little bit, but I was really impressed. And it was really, really annoying today. You're going up against the Leicester team with Vardy, Patson Daka on the bench, Iheanacho, Harvey Barnes, Tielemans. It's still a top side. Ademola Lookman on the bench, who later came on. So it's a very, very starstruck Leicester side. A Leicester side who've just come off the back of a 2-0 win against Burnley. Aside from today and then, really, and I think in general it is. To be fair, it's a notoriously tough place to go. Burnley struggled, obviously, as I've just mentioned today, which has been beneficial for us, and I've also lost in midweek to Leicester. So. Coming off the back of that, I was thinking to myself, Maddison, Vardy, God, this isn't going to be good. But listen, Vardy last time he came up against us was pretty insignificant. Maddison has come up against us before and been insignificant as well. And I thought, especially with Vardy, it followed a very, very similar trait. Jamie Vardy wasn't in the game at all. I think, obviously, Strout got yellow carded. The start of the game. But aside from that, it was the ball round the side really from Dewsbury Hall, from Sionchu to try find him, and Leeds nullified that pretty well. Schmeichel thought he had a really good game. He seems to always have a good game against Leeds United, doesn't he? VAR decisions going against us again. I will hark you back to the Click and Rudiger incident at the end of the Chelsea 3 Leeds 2 game, where Matthias Click clipped the back of Rudiger, the big tough centre-back's boots, and he went over in the box rolling round, and Chelsea got a penalty. The exact same scenario happened today. Sionchu kicked the back of Rodrigo's heel, went down on the floor a little bit theatrically, but as did Rudiger. And what happens? Absolutely nothing. Top 4 tax, everybody. That's what we get in this division. But Leeds United didn't get anything from that, and I thought that was definitely a penalty if we are aligning it with the current rules in the Premier League. Rafinha, James and Rodrigo all with big chances. The best coming for Rafinha. He just simply had to score, didn't he? Simply had to score. He didn't. Frustrating, really, really frustrating. I thought he was very in and out of the game, Rafinha. Once again, I've always given him slack because, as I said, we'd be rock bottom without him at the minute. But he needs to start bringing more consistent minutes up, really, in terms of his performances, because he is the star of the show, isn't he? And we rely on him so much. But I thought others stepped up today. I really did. I thought Rodrigo was really good, and I thought the impetus. I thought everything changed a little bit when he went off. I thought that missing link from the midfield to the attack was him, really. And I think the structure really enabled him to flourish there. We've seen Rodrigo really work in the transitions before, when Leeds are breaking. But I thought his overall game was really good today as well. A couple of really decent tackles, and he seemed to work well in the unit. Separated by a good goal, a very good goal. Harvey Barnes, who's now scored more against Leeds than any club in his career, and still goes on and says it's a really difficult game playing against Leeds. But I think he loves it, in all fairness, to be fair. And listen, that time when he was at Thorpe Arch, ready to sign for Leeds, and West Brom picked him under Marcelo Bielsa's nose. That was a big getaway for Leeds, because what a player he is, what an absolute player he is. And every time we face Leicester, it's never Vardy, it's never Maddison, it's never even Tielemans. It seems to always be Harvey Barnes who is the difference. And I thought across the pitch today, there was only really one battle lost, and I thought it was Barnes versus Dallas. I thought Dallas was poor today. I thought there were a few nice breakages forward, but I thought overall, you look at his overall game, and listen, I don't blame him, because he's not a natural fullback, in my opinion. I think he's a better central midfielder if you are to hold him down to one position. But Harvey Barnes, Stewart is just square on every single time. He's not showing him on his weaker side, so he has to cross it in with his left foot. He's just square on every single time, which gives Barnes the option of running at him and going either right, left, through the legs, doing whatever he wants to do. And that happened for the goal. The 1-2s, Harvey Barnes had done it twice around Dallas already in the game. They were the warning signs. The 1-2 happened again with the Kelechi Iheanacho assist, and Barnes with a really good finish. A lot of people saying that maybe Illan Meslier could have done a little bit better, but I think that is a little bit harsh. I think Barnes, if you're defending up against him, you have to show him on his weak side, down the line. Even when you do that, it's difficult. You look at the Burnley assist midweek, they showed him down the line and he put a wonderful ball in for Vardy, but you've got more of a chance of Illan Meslier maybe coming and palming it out from his goal set, or maybe a centre-back getting an interception on it. But, you just square on and letting Harvey Barnes run at you, you're in trouble. You really are. So, yeah, a lot of positives, though, everybody. A lot of positives, and I want to get into the specifics. I'm still seeing a lot of people saying it was like a Marcelo Bielsa game. It was nothing like a Marcelo Bielsa game. I feel that's very outcome bias. It's not performance bias. There was notable changes for me, real notable changes. The structure was completely different. The press was completely different. How Leeds were on the ball was very different as well, in my opinion. There was an element of control. It wasn't get the ball hell for leather. I will harken you back pretty much every single time to Illan Meslier when he came and claimed the ball, which I thought he did quite well today. There was no throw out as quick as you can. It was regain your structure, compose yourselves, then, build the attacks or build the offensive play. I thought there was some notable differences. I think it's a very lazy thing to just say that, based on the result. It was the exact same because we lost the game and we were really attacking, had loads of chances, this, that, and the other. It wasn't at all. Although I did think the first 15 minutes was a little bit chaotic, still in that whole remit of Leeds just being chaos encompassed, really. But I thought we really grew into the game. And as I said, I thought we were the dominant team, creating chances. And I want to touch on the XG as well. A fantastic stat has just come out, which is a bit irritating, but it's also positive in many ways. Leeds United had the highest XG that it's been this season. A lot of you people might not like XG and XG models and all this sort of stuff, and I can understand that. I rarely bring it up on this channel. But I think the reason I bring XG up right now is because it's the measure of how good the quality of chance is, right? That's what an XG model is. It's a quantitative, so a numerical measure of how good a chance is. Jack Harrison had 4 key passes today, and I did not expect him to flourish in this system. I know it's early days, but I did not expect it with the narrower formation. Leeds normally playing wide under Bielsa. I thought he'd really struggle. But that was just another numerical advantage to what Leeds were able to build into their XG today. So that's the highest they've had this season against Leicester City away at the King Power. You look at all the games we've had, which you could argue were favourable, this season. Leeds maybe haven't been able to galvanise the chances as much, especially in recent times. But this one, it just shows that Leeds were the dominant team in terms of stats, which is a big thing. Scooby is, that's what XG is the measure of how good a quality of chance is, mate. Which essentially says Leeds is XG. If it's higher, it means the quality of chance that we're producing is very good. So that's good. If Leeds weren't creating chances, I'd be very worried. And I know a lot of people. Justin's just come in here and said it's all about putting the ball in the net, never mind XG, which is. Listen, ultimately, you're right. But Justin, we're here to try derive positives from this game, mate. I'm not just going to come on here and be a morgue. We've got to come on here and think to ourselves, Joffrey only played for 30 minutes. I would have liked him to start, although I understand why he didn't start. It would have been a mad game to throw him into. I think Joffrey should be starting every game. But I understand new manager coming into this sort of cauldron, the where Leeds are right now, the week they've just gone through. I do think maybe you have to manage the youngster a little bit better there. But, I wouldn't be adverse to putting him starting the game against Villa and putting him in a little bit of an easier scenario. I think I understand why he went with regulars for this game, 100%. Listen, we didn't have anybody to put the ball in the back of the net. You are quite correct. But I just felt sometimes the calmness, the control in front of goal, the luck that did go Leicester's way, the VAR decisions, Rafinha having to score. He had to score that chance. Had to score that chance. Just gets a touch on it. Any other side, it's in. Yeah, and I just thought there were some really, really decent opportunities for Leeds today. We've got a striker on the bench, hopefully in Patrick Bamford, who will be back very, very soon. So we'll have to wait and see with that. But yeah, it looks better. Just to quantify everybody, just to discuss how XG works as well. From my esteemed colleague Joe Donahue, he mentioned it on our blue, white, and yellow stream. That game we had the same XG as West Ham, the 3-2 win at West Ham. So we created the same quality of chance against West Ham as we did Leicester. So that's how many, and you look at that game in comparison to this game. Leeds won the game 3-2. We were unbelievable, this, that, and the other. Leeds weren't far off today. And the stats back it up. So everybody is right. In front of goal is the problem. But thank God it looks like just around the corner we're getting a certain someone back. And maybe Joffrey will be able to get a few more minutes. So yeah, no connection. But what I did think, as I've mentioned before, I thought it was fantastic in terms of the structure, the shape. The clinical nature was very, very annoying, but it was compact by Leeds. And what I mean by that, a lot of people might look at it and think it was a Bielsa game. As I've mentioned several times, it was nowhere near a Bielsa game. I thought there was some nuances still there, of course, the attacking structure and stuff like that. But there, you didn't see Dan James, for example, going at break speed to close down the goalkeeper every single time the keeper had the ball. Schmeichel, it was all very cued and timed. There'd be a certain individual have the ball. You'd get 3 Leeds players harrying, and if they didn't make that chance, if the ball was recovered, if it was moved from player to player in the Leicester back line, Leeds got the shape back. They didn't go just tear-assing after the ball. They regained the shape, and then they went again. They waited for the cue. They waited for the moment. When Leicester had the ball at the back, I actually, for one of the first times, I would have been stressed watching the game, but I wasn't thinking to myself, oh God, he's following him. What's going on? There was just a bank. There was a bank. It was compact. It was structured. And as I said in that first half, I didn't really notice Jamie Vardy. Tielemans was absent. We all talk about today about winning the midfield battle. The midfield battle was won by Leeds, in my opinion. As I say, Yuri Tielemans, who normally is the focal point of that midfield. He's normally he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I thought he was absent. I really did. Dewsbury Hall was probably the pick of the bunch in their midfield. But I thought we did okay. I think possession-wise, sometimes with Leeds, it is extremely frustrating because, you can have control. You can hold back a little bit. And this is clearly this Marsh way in terms of building vertically. You can do that, but you've also got to be able to set your own standards and be able to play past 5 yards. Sometimes it was just basics. I do think as well, it'd be interesting to hear what a lot of you guys think. I think sometimes we need to be a little bit stronger in the tackle. I noticed that with Click and Harrison, a little bit tougher in the tackle, and hopefully that'll come with time. But yeah, I think there were a lot of positives out of today. I would say Rodrigo as well. Really good, as I've mentioned to you guys before. Normally in the transitions, he's very good, and that was his game really under Marcelo Bielsa. But I even thought his defensive work was good in this game as well. I thought when he was pressing as a unit, he was getting involved. He was energetic. He was putting some tackles in. And yeah, that's what we want from Rodrigo, isn't it? He was sort of sometimes reverting into a striker, sometimes reverting into a midfielder. His finishing is still questionable for me. To say naturally he is a striker, it's definitely questionable. But hopefully he'll improve. But it was great to see. As I said, Jack Harrison, 4 key passes. I was really surprised. I thought over time he'll struggle in this system because it's not wide anymore. We're going to be playing narrow. We're going to be compact. And I thought he did really well. I thought he had a good game. I'm not Jack Harrison's biggest fan. But credit where credit's due. I thought he was decent today. I really did. Rafinha, patches again. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more consistency there. Something I wanted to touch on initially as well is the set pieces. Much improved. Although I thought attacking them, Leeds looked dangerous. We won a lot of them. In particular in the first half, Luke Ayling, it was a decent header just wide of the post. Strout won another one as well. There was a couple of knock-ons, but I actually liked the variation in how we were taking the corners, the stuttered corners. There was a little bit of there was a man who was a decoy, and I thought just these little bits which maybe will catch the opponents out, because normally with Leeds set pieces it is pretty much just lump the ball into the box and hope the best offensively. But I thought this time they were mixing it up a little bit. Sometimes the balls in were awful. I think we need to have a winger on corners every single time, in my opinion, especially Rafinha. For some reason, he's off corners. Well, he wasn't on every single one, was he? So yeah, I think that was a real positive. One fell to Dan James, one fell to Rodrigo. So in terms of creating chances, it was good from set pieces. Defending them, still a little bit strange. Obviously, this zonal thing was definitely working in set piece as well. It didn't seem like Strout was picking anybody up. He seemed like he was just in that zone, ready to attack the ball. It did work for us. But, sometimes I have a few heart palpitations. So I would like Strout to mark a man, but that hasn't been working in weeks. If he can just sit in his zone, then because he's the tallest and the biggest player, he can go and attack it. It really doesn't matter if the ball's going to get any further or not, to be quite honest with you. Econ said Rafa couldn't get by the first man recently on corners. That's completely true. Yeah. It's the decision making when we do get good chances that lets us down. Hopefully Jesse will improve this. Yeah, definitely. I think the decision making is poor. I think it is poor. I think that's been something throughout the season, really. Which, when you look at the players that we've brought in, especially when you look at Dan James and Rodrigo, I think, there's a lot of value there. We brought them in to add goals and assists, and I think there needs to be a little bit more there sometimes in terms of decision making. You forget when we've literally got 4-on-3 and Rodrigo overhits the ball to Jack Harrison. That's just a simple ball in, and that's 1-0. But you did play a lovely ball in earlier on. Oh no, that was Dan James, wasn't it? Played a lovely ball in. Still a little bit hit too hard, I thought. And Jack James pulled he made Schmeichel pull out a really good save, but the ball in from Dan James was too far again. And for these players worth these value, I know you can't base it on the value, but for the pedigree we've brought them in, sort of the look ahead and seeing how much quality these players have, you expect them to come in and deliver maybe a little bit more. But hopefully that will come in time. Overall, feels like he set them up to succeed, need better execution. I'd completely agree. I think the structure simply had to be evolved, everybody. The structure had to be evolved. We all love Marcelo Bielsa, we do, but there had to be more of a framework there. There had to be. Today, you look at, let's say we look at that man-for-man system, and I think, especially with Dewsbury Hall, especially with Harvey Barnes, especially with, individuals coming off the bench like Ademola Lookman, who are very direct. I think in the man-for-man system, we'd have really been ripped apart today. I fully believe that. Whereas today we did have a little bit more structure. We were a little bit more compact, and we were extremely unlucky. I didn't really feel, I don't know about you guys, but throughout the game, I didn't feel massively, oh no. I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was sort of a gung-ho performance. There was a lot of attack in there, which was great, but we seemed to do it intelligently, and that'll only develop. It really will. This is how I'm seeing the game anyway. You guys might have looked at it and thought it's the exact same as Bielsa, with the same things going wrong. I would 100% agree with you guys in terms of decision-making. I think decision-making, as you guys know, focus, concentration on my channel has been a staple for the past 2 or 3 years with this side, really. Getting to good positions, and even in the Championship, we should have scored so many more goals, should have won so many more games, but the decision making was always by the wayside. Let's have a look. Pickles coming in again and saying that performance gets easy wins against Watford and Norwich. You'd hope so. Phil said not down yet, believe. Man-to-man, Jimmy Sandwich's good point. Man-to-man with 30-year-olds won't last long. Let's have a look at what CH says. I feel that we were more defensively solid, but it wasn't as potent in attack, hopefully. Just the start of things. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's been potent in attack, to be honest. That's 3 games now where we haven't scored a goal, mate. So I don't think it's been potent in attack previously as well. I think that's just a confidence thing, and hopefully Rafinha's going to get back to those heights again. We need that 100%. And listen, when Bamford's back in there, you're hoping the goal. If Bamford's playing today, everybody, there was a delicious ball in from Harrison in the first half. I don't know if you recall, in the 6-yard box. If I'm Bamford on the bench looking at that, I'm thinking, good God. Even if I'm Joffy, I know Joffy likes to drop deep, but I'm thinking, good God. Okay, so yeah, I think just talking about talking about Joffrey as well, I think you straight away know when he comes on the pitch, there's a difference. There's a difference as soon as he gets on the pitch. He gets the ball, first touch, he's asking for it, he's screaming for it from Rafinha. Rafinha gives it to him, gets it out of his feet, scuffs it just wide. I actually thought it was in. I just want to see more of a Rafinha Joffrey partnership. I've wanted to see it more throughout the season, just pure quality. We might not see that as much with Bamford there, but now there is a chance with two centre forwards that Joffrey can definitely play himself in, and we know with Jesse Marsh he loves rotation, which definitely will definitely will be something to consider. So, crowd sounded brilliant. Marcelo Bielsa ringing round, loved that. Really enjoyed that. Saw loads of stuff before the game as well of people coming with the tributes. What I also loved though as well was a lot of the encouragement for Jesse Marsh, and I think that's what we've seen this week. There was a chant for him, I think, at one point. I'm pretty sure I heard it. That's what I love. It's the fact that this guy has come in and he has really endeared himself to the Leeds fans. A lot of Leeds fans sitting around thinking, do you know what, this guy's he's a good guy. Hopefully he'll be a good replacement. He's talking the talk, as we've always said. Can he walk the walk? And I think in spouts he did walk the walk today. I did like what I saw. Concentration again, lapse of concentration for the goal, which has to be sorted. Stuart Dallas has to do better. Can't be facing up Harvey Barnes square on. And he did it, as I said to you guys before. He's done it twice before in the game. But overall, Leeds deserved at least a point. And that is the hallmark of relegation, deserving things and not getting it. We saw it with Sheffield United in multiple games when they got relegated. They deserved points. You know, I covered Sheffield United in that season. They deserved wins. They deserved points, but ultimately they didn't get it because they couldn't put the ball back in the back of the net and they couldn't keep it out. So listen, we can't keep saying that week in, week out. We can't. It's 11 games left now. It was 12. It's now 11. There was 36 points to play for. There's now 33, but there were definitely improvements there. And 33 points to play for is still a hell of a lot. You know, there are some tough games in there, but there are some winnable games in there as well. Now, what did I like about Marsh? I love the fact he's shouting at the players. I love that passion on the sidelines. It's just something that would work for me. You know, I played at a decent level, and I always liked that. I always liked a coach grabbing me over if I was doing something wrong and saying to me, "Look, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. If you know, create this space, and so can get further forward. If you pull back here, you know." Someone talking to me as a player, I was very much a confidence player, nowhere near on the same levels as these guys. But you guys will have played football before. What would you have liked better? And I know this is an elite level, but I would have loved that arm around the shoulder. And I think sometimes with a lot of these lads, that the mentality can be a little bit fragile. So you're hoping that will help massively, but he's pointing at them. You know, he's talking to the lines, the fourth official all the time, which I like as well. Just making him aware that the decisions make a big impact in this division. You know, talking to the players when they're coming off as well, and the huddle at the end. D said the huddle felt very American. It did, and I didn't mind it. You know, the huddle's also a big German thing. I think he'll have probably picked it up out there. You know, no matter what the result is, normally in the Bundesliga they'll go over and give their sort of way. They do it at Dortmund all the time. I think they've do it at Hertha Berlin as well, and a few others. So he'll have picked that up from being in Germany. And a lot of people might have said, yeah, but we didn't get the result. It's not about that. It's having that unification between the fans and the players and knowing we're all in it together. The fans, the player, the manager, there's no separation. I'm here, you're here, the players are here, and we're going to do this together, you know. And all the great teams in history have done it. And when it's been together, we've got every single great team, it's been together, it's been that unit. And I think that's the only way we get out of this. It's the players. I think we're good enough to stay up. I think we're up against it. If I'm honest with you, I think we're very up against it in terms of staying in this division. But the next week's huge, everybody. It is minimum 4 points. It is. We have to pick something up at Villa, and Norwich is a must-win. There is no discussion around it. It's not, we'll pick up a point the week after. These are must-wins now. And even though it was a great performance today, we didn't pick anything up. Okay, so we didn't pick anything up. A point would have been brilliant. A win would have been unbelievable. I thought we deserved the win. We at least deserved a point. But the next two games are absolutely monumental in Leeds staying in this division, because other teams have good games coming up as well. You know what I mean? And we are looking at other clubs now. You're hoping that Tottenham are going to do us a favour against Everton. But yeah, you've got to think as well to yourself, with Bamford coming back, Calvin coming back, We don't know when Cooper's going to be back, but you can see how they're going to fit into that team. You know, Calvin Phillips just holding back, sat alongside maybe Adam Forshaw there. That double pivot that we've always wanted to see. You know, Calvin been there, just splitting it up. Imagine the control of the ball when he's in there. Someone who is exceptional on the ball. That is going to help us so much in controlling games. So hopefully he's going to be back soon. You know, Patrick Bamford as well. You could see how the entire play, Jesse Marsh's, just improvements in framework, the structure when we're going forward as a unit, when we attack as a unit, you know, when we nick the ball as a unit, you can see how Bamford would profit there. You know, some of the balls in that he'd have lapped up today and we'd have won the game. So yeah, that is good because you can see how they're going to be in there. And something as well, guys, don't get your heads down. I'm going to try not get my head down till the very end. I might get frustrated, but I'm not going to get my head down until the end because I want, you know, I want to believe in what's happening as well. Because football's all about hope, innit? And we've made the change. It is what it is now. And we've got to get behind the manager. And I like how he's not letting any of the players get their heads down. Because I think sometimes we've seen previously when the players have walked off the pitch, they've been a bit glum, they've been clapping like that, but they've looked. I mean, I've been at Ellen Road and I've been watching it on the TV when I've been working. The heads have been down. They'll always give it 100%, but the confidence looks low. This guy just simply won't allow it. He will not allow it. He's going up, he's hugging the players, this, that, and the other. And I think that's massive. I really do think that's massive with this group of players. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I always go back and look at everything. Andy's just reminding me here, just tuning in if you mentioned the Tyler Roberts sub situation. I haven't yet. I agree. It was a little bit confusing why I was still on the pitch. But then sometimes as players, you've got to think to yourself, like Luke Ayling, I'm not going to run as quick as I can, take two players on, take two players out the game, get myself into a situation where I've got three players coming at me and then pass the ball to Tyler Roberts who can't move. It is what it is. I do think he should have come off the pitch, but maybe he was just there as an obstacle because if Leicester are looking forward to Iheanacho or to Ademola Lookman, there is still a body there. There's still a body there. I know that sounds ridiculous because he can't move, but it's still an obstacle in your way. It's not just a gap. You know what I mean? So I can understand the thought process, but I mean, you know, you don't want to injure Tyler Roberts even more. You really do. You don't want us to have another body injured for another 6 months. So I felt like it had to come off. That was a bit bizarre, to be honest, especially when he's been talking about the players being injured so much this week and then been training and playing when they are injured. But I can understand in a weird sort of way why he did stay on. But it was a bit strange why he didn't come off. But David Evans says, my head is down, Phil. We've had it. David, after that, mate, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a game against Leicester, mate. It's always going to be a tough place to go, the King Power. It really is. You know, as I've said, they're a top team. They're a top team. It's all based on this week, mate. It is. It's a massive week for Leeds United. So I think we'll potentially know where we are at the back end of this, really. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Have a good one. I'll see you.